Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our Hebron's 4th of July festivities. I welcome you, Dan Larson, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen. Thank you for taking this time to enjoy it with us and our neighbors on this great and historic occasion. With that, I'm going to turn it over to John, and he will start you with the festivities.
Thanks, Dan. One of my favorite events now, and I'm glad to see we've actually probably doubled the number from last year. Of course, last year was really hot. But welcome to our event. And again, I'm John Collins. I'm one of the selectmen in Hebron. And we're here, I think, to celebrate one of the greatest ideas in the world, and that comes from the Declaration of Independence, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. An idea that launched this country and launched basically the American people as they are now. So, to get this going, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, so again, Danielle, I'm just blown away by Danielle's rendition of the national anthem. That was fantastic. So now we're going to have the reading of the Declaration of Independence.
Hear ye. Unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident: that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted.
He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies.
He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their
For abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us.
In every stage of these oppressions, we've petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Signed in the name of Connecticut in Congress, July 4, 1776, by Roger Sherman of New Milford, Samuel Huntingdon from Windham, William Williams from Lebanon, Oliver Wolcott from Windsor. God bless America.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Williams and our other guests. That was truly inspiring. Now next we're gonna have some remarks from Tom Braccato from the American Legion Post 95 in Hebron.
So I'm Vice Commander, Junior Vice Commander at the American Legion, Post 95, right here, which is made up of veterans, sisters and brothers, and those who are presently serving in the armed forces of our great nation, the United States of America. Now we are a nation, a young one at that, a mere 244 years old. To put that in perspective, imagine 4 generations of 61-year-old uncles. To put our nation's age in perspective, our nation's history, we need to compare the United States of America, the 244-year-old nation, pretty young, to the Greek nation, BC period, which survived some 3,000 years and collapsed. That would be 50 generations of 61-year-old uncles. Before it diminished, the Roman Empire was evolving, and it too survived a long period, some 2,000 years before it crashed. The point being, we, U.S. citizens, expect the United States to survive as long. If we are to survive, we must see to the education of our children, and we, adults, must continue to learn. The study of Western civilization is where you must begin in order to understand our nation's foundation. We abide by the philosophy of man has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It dates back to the Greek philosopher Socrates in the BC period. It reemerged during the period known as the Age of Enlightenment, and ultimately appeared in the document we know as the Declaration of Independence. Remarkable. One sentence with such power lasted thousands of years, and we live our life based on that one sentence. Jefferson. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. My point is, teach your children well, because our nation's survival is dependent upon the future generations. As adults, take the time to learn about your nation, the United States of America, learn the philosophical roots that were and are still the basis for the verbiage in the United States Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the amendments to the Bill of Rights to keep it current with national heritage and purpose. So, in closing, I hope you will go out today and enjoy the conversation about this day and the freedoms we cherish with your family and friends. God bless all of you, the United States of America, our founding fathers, and those citizens who support the foundation of Americanism. Have a great day, folks.
I'd like us to begin with My Country, 'Tis of Thee, please. Go ahead. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. And where my fathers died, and of the pilgrims flight, from every mountain side, every What I would like you to do as you sing this one is not just sing the words, but feel the words. All right, here we go. God bless America. Love Kate Smith. This one also, you need to feel from your hearts. This land is your land. It's our land. It's your land. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Okay. One thing you learn about Judy's events is that you sing a lot. I'm getting used to it. Next, we have Larry Zimmerman, local author, who will, I guess, give us a poem. Thank you.
2 weeks ago, I guess, can you hear me okay? I got an email from Mary Ann Foote saying, how would I like to read a poem at the 4th of July celebration? And before I could think about it, I said yes. And then I had a problem. I don't have a poem for the 4th of July. So I told Mary Ann that, and undaunted, she said, well, for Pete's sake, write one. Sounds like her, right? But I need an inspiration, and I didn't really have any. And I happened to be listening, well, my wife was listening to one of those. They still call them soap operas in the afternoon? They still do? Okay, she was listening to that, and one of the women in there said, I will always love you, Charlie. And I said, wow, what a great line that is. And of course it's a lie, because you only love him for a couple of weeks, and then she'll be on to somebody else. But when you say always, it kind of implies everlasting. And so the wheels started turning, and I thought, people say that all the time, I will always do something, and they never do. And I wondered, what are the things that I would say to that phrase, I will always? And thus, a poem, things that I will always do. I will always hold a butterfly gently in my hands. I will always extend my finger for a baby to grasp. I would always admire the colors of the dawn. I will always watch a spider spin an intricate web. I will always listen to the birds that announce the start of the day. I will always sing songs like, "Oh, beautiful for spacious skies." I will always watch sparkling water cascade over rocks in a stream. I will always listen to the night sounds on a summer's evening. I will always look for stars beyond my imagination. I will always think ideas that have never been thought. I will always look at our flag and know what it means. I will only appreciate all the men who made us free and alive. I will always praise the freedom given to all of us. And I will always honor the people that celebrate this day. Thank you.
July 4th is my favorite holiday, and why not? It has food, it has a parade, it has fireworks. What's not to love, right? But really what it does is it celebrates, I think, what's best about our country. Our goodness, our basic decency as a people, our ability to create a nation out of such a variety of peoples and colors and faiths and histories. No other country has done that, and we've done it for over 200 years. Why is it my favorite? Because I'm able to stand here today. If it weren't for this country, my family in 1940, my father, my mother, my two sisters, they would not have been alive. They would have been in a camp, and then they would have been murdered in Germany. And it's because America took us in that I am here today. We're here because of America's generosity and open arms. And that got me thinking about how others have come here and how they made it to this tiny town in eastern Connecticut. And that's where the idea of where you're from came from. Many people are here in Connecticut, actually 3 generations. And some people, some have been here since the 17th century. Hello, Marianne. Some have been here only 78 years, like me. And some have been here only a week or 2. They all came for the same reasons. Some were immigrants because of flood and disaster, tornadoes, war. Some came because they looked for opportunity. They want better for themselves. Some people came for survival. They came for opportunity, or they came for their children's future. Over 36 states are represented on the map, and over 33 countries are represented on the map. By the way, when you look at the map, the red pins are the people who responded. There are 239 of you did that. The white pins represent your parents. Because we didn't have enough pins, when the parents were from the same place, we usually used only one pin. So you can imagine double the amount of white pins would represent your parents. The blue pins represent your grandparents. And again, when the parents or grandparents were from the same country, we used one pin because we didn't have room on the map. We'd need a much bigger map to do that. But that's the story of the three generations. You, your parents, and your grandparents, red, white, and blues. Today, new people are coming to this country. They're coming from different parts of the world. And they will be as unwelcome and as vilified as our families were when they came to this country, where the signs were up, no Irish allowed, right? Where the Germans were vilified in New York when they came, when the Jews were asked not to show up. It's the same in every generation. And try and remember that I don't care if you came here 100 years ago, 200 years ago, nobody wanted you here when you came. So it's good to remember that this is a country that has always welcomed people to its shores, and that isn't going to change. And I've seen it in the people of Hebron, the goodness of the people in Hebron, and the people in America who help people when they're in trouble, and that's what we stand for. These people who are coming today, they also will become Americans. They will keep their own traditions, and they will have barbecues just like us, only they may have lamb instead of beef or pork. They will have different spices in their foods, the salads that they make. But they will love our country with their different traditions, but they will love our country as much as anybody who is here now. So thank you all for this community project. It was fun to do. I have no idea if it was going to work or not, but it did. And I'm happy to see it here, standing there, and all of you here. And for all of you, the people who participated and the people who came out on this hot day, thank you so much for doing this. It means a lot to me personally, and I think it means a lot for the town. This year there are 50 people. Next year we'll have 100 people. We're not going to do the map again, but we'll do something else equally fun. So thank you very much for coming.
Okay, so just in conclusion, it just reminds me that, you know, America is an idea, or a series of ideas, it seems to me. And today, we're celebrating those ideas. And those ideas are American, they're Hebronian, they're essential to all of us. And when we have a diversity of people that come from different places, what unites us are those ideas. If they believe those things, if we believe them, we're Americans. So happy 4th of July, enjoy it, and enjoy the freedoms that we've all been bestowed upon. Thank you so much.
I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good. Saving brotherhood from sea to shining sea. America, I love you, America, because my God done shed his grace on thee. And you ought to love him for it, because he crowned thy good. He told me he would save his brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Shine.